Did it, Joe? Or did we?
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another King of Reads video. Yes, we are getting to the spirit of getting back to schedule. Back to recording. What is going on? I will say I miss y'all, but I ain't been gone but a day. So we get back into the regular spin of things, catching up, girl, doing some stuff that needs to be done, dragging some things that need to be dragged, because let me tell y'all something. It's not a day that goes by that some person is using their platform to be ignorant. And whatever platform they have, like, I cannot wait to drag the hell out of Danny Lay, or whatever her name is, who is in a relationship with the baby, who had the nerve, the audacity, the light-skinned caucasity. You're not even a black woman, ma'am. But we're gonna get into that. We're also gonna talk about some other things, because at this point, Tory Lanez is violent to Megan Thee Stallion. Like, he is violent, he is very violent. He's been nothing but violent the last 6-7 months since this incident occurred. Like, how he keeps responding and just antagonizing her. It is way too much. I also want to give my thoughts about the whole situation with Anderson .Paak and his colorful remark on Jasmine Sullivan's album, his little verse on, I cannot think of the name of that song, but I'm pretty sure I'll figure it out in a second. Because a lot of folks were talking about this is giving colorist tease, and also the fact that Jasmine Sullivan's album, or whatever, it's not an album, but a little project, EP, whatever you want to call it, it's very good. I'm hearing a lot of positive things. But I'm a little bit concerned about her, doing anything with the NFL. I'm like, Jasmine, I'm excited about her, and I'm glad that she's getting the attention that she deserves. But I'm just like, girl, we don't need to be performing no national anthem in no damn Super Bowl. But girl, I guess, honey, she might need to make a call to home, girl. But I think it's gonna be different. Also, I want to talk about the inauguration. I'm gonna give y'all some stuff, girl. The girls have, let me tell y'all something. The radical girls, the liberal girls, all y'all been getting on my nerves. I'm just like, I ain't gonna lie, I needed a break the other day. We dragged all of that and more in this King of Reads video. That's possibly going to be 2 videos, so stay tuned. But before we get into all that, y'all already know we gotta get into this mental health check-in. So what is going on with Justin's mental health? I will tell you, it is doing way better than it was last week, and better than it was Tuesday when I recorded this. Today is Thursday. It's kind of gloomy outside. It's kind of like, overcast and just fog and just, I don't know what they call that stuff, but it's just very foggy outside and it's just very rainy. But I actually kind of like when it's like this, because the sun, she has been beaming, girl. She has been beaming. So I'm okay with a little rain, a little something. Looking for some more snow. Come on, Nicki Minaj. But I'm feeling good, even though I'm experiencing some gloomy weather. I'm feeling way better. I appreciate all the concerns and stuff that people were sending me when I was in the hospital. I'm still talking about that, but I just want to show y'all I appreciate y'all. A lot of folks was concerned. I'm like looking at messages, it's like, oh my gosh, there's even more people who was just like, I'm hoping you feel better and all those things. I am feeling good. My mother just left a couple of hours ago to head back to Memphis. I had a wonderful time with her. We got facials together. I was able to get her an appointment to get her hair locked up. She ain't gonna be as long as me, but she gonna get there by my stylist, my hairstylist and stuff. So it's just really good to just be able to be around my mother and just love on her. Like, that really gave me the rejuvenation that I needed to carry on, considering how kind of hectic the beginning of this year has been for me. But all positive vibes over here, all good energy. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the tea for today. The tea for today is Wendy Williams and her brother need to sit down and have a conversation, because, girl, this is becoming way too much for me. So Wendy Williams' brother has been in his car, kind of talking mess about Wendy Williams and kind of just, spilling some inside tea. And the latest thing that he said was, that Wendy Williams didn't come to her mother's funeral. Wendy Williams lost her mother last year, or recent, I can't remember when it was, but she did not go to the funeral. And her brother was calling her out on that and was just like, you at least could have did it for Dad. Like, Dad was hurt by this and da-da-da-da. And Wendy Williams clapped back and said, if I was to spill your tea, sis, it would be enough to fill this whole audience or whatever. Like, she kept doing this, and I think she was trying to imply that he was gay or queer or whatever. And I was just like, Wendy, this isn't it. This isn't for somebody who is always using, you know, this lingo, and for you to be out here like responding to that with that kind of like, that wasn't it at all. Now, I'm one of those people that I don't think people have to show up to a funeral. I'm not one of those folks. If a person chooses not to go to a funeral, that's on them. Like, I don't want to force anyone to go to anything that can be possibly triggering for them or whatever. You know, yes, there's a possibility of this person not getting closure or whatever, but there's also a situation where this person might be mentally triggered to this beyond repair of seeing a loved one in a casket or dead. Like, some folks cannot take that. So I'm one of those people that I don't believe that people, you know, should be forced to go to a funeral, and a person not showing up to a funeral is not disrespectful. I don't believe in that. So I think Wendy Williams has every right to say, I don't think I'm going to attend my mother's funeral. That's not how I want to be seen. I'm one of those people, I've told folks 100 times that when I pass, I do not want to be in a casket. I don't want to be in no casket, period. I'm telling you this. I do not want to be in no casket. If you put me in a casket, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to start crip walking in there, because that's what you want to see. I do not want to be put in no casket. Go ahead and put flames, do this jacadas. Have me scattered on some tree or something so I can continue to shade you hoes into the infinity and beyond. That's all I want. I don't want to be in no type of casket, girl. So, girl, I'm getting upset even thinking about the possibility of somebody putting me in a suit and tie. Babe, I'm gonna get over there. Hey, it does it. I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna start crip walking. I'm telling y'all, I don't even know how to crip walk, but I'm gonna do it to let y'all know that I'm the crip keeper, since y'all won't put me in a box. But was you in a pine box? Pine box? Come on, Kendrick Lamar. But yes, that's what's going on with that. What else is going on? I want to know how y'all feel about that. Do y'all think Wendy Williams, you know, should go, or what she should have went? What do you think about her whole situation with her brother? Her brother has responded to it, to her message or whatever she said while she was on a TV show. Like, Wendy Williams hardly ever talks about any of this stuff publicly, but baby, when she does, she causes a rift. But girl, I think they just need to have a conversation at this point, because it's becoming entirely too much for me. Now, catching up on some old tea, girl, the girls were dragging Azealia Banks, I think last week. Last week there was a video going around of Azealia Banks. You know, she apparently had dug her deceased cat up and was, you know, put it in a pot and started to like boil it or do whatever. And the girls was like, oh no, it's giving witchcraft, it's giving all of these things. Like, she had posted on Instagram, and I'm not showing y'all, but girls were dragging it. Like, oh my God, what is this? It's too much. Some of the videos were funny. But it's interesting what black folks are allowed to do versus other people are allowed to do. There are some people who do stuff their cats, stuff animals, and leave it in their houses and stuff. And some folks who do that, and you know, she wanted to do whatever she wanted to do with her cat. I am interested in that, but I'm not gonna knock somebody who's doing it. I'm not gonna say they're a witch or with all that other stuff, because we always seem to put evil on witchcraft and all that, but we never do that with Christianity. Like, you never do that. And if you really think about it, like, I'm gonna hurt some folks' feelings. Like, I just be very confused when folks be thinking, oh, that's witchcraft. The fact that you are saying a prayer to eat someone's dead body and drinking their blood, that shit sounds crazy as hell. I don't care what you say, but just think about that outside the box. Someone is telling you to eat their body and drink their blood. Girl, if I was to tell you a story without focusing on Christianity and telling you that, girl, you'd be shook. But that's some stuff, so we just gotta get out of that, especially when it comes to black folks, because that is very harmful to black people to automatically assume that a black person is doing harm, when Christianity has done way more harm than any other religion. Look at all the things that Christianity has done in the name of whiteness or whatever you want to call it. Like, girl, girl, I be looking at them like, now y'all know my tea, y'all know I'm atheist, but I be just trying to throw some gems on y'all so y'all can get out of this pine box that y'all be putting yourselves in, think outside of it before you end up in the motherfucker. Mentally. Forever. How long you gonna be with them? How long you gonna be for Christianity? Forever. Okay, come on, Cardi B. But my whole thing with Azealia Banks, she can do whatever the hell she wants to with her cat. I don't know why I was about to say that. Oh my God. But she can do whatever she wants. She want to boil and make shrimp and grits. I don't really care. I ain't coming to her house for dinner or anything else, but I just thought it was interesting. A lot of folks were talking about it. So let's move on and talk about the inauguration. And let's also talk about these pardons and stuff that's been going on, girl. We got to talk about some stuff in this political realm. Our 46th president has been elected, well, not elected, but sworn in. That happened. When was that? When did that happen? When was it? Tuesday, Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. It was actually yesterday. Joseph R. Biden was sworn in as our 46th president of the United States, and Vice President Harris was, is the first black Asian American a black woman to sit in, as a vice president of the United States. There's been a lot of talk about what's been going on, girl. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It was very hard yesterday watching all of the conversations and things that were going on, and people talking about imperialism as they should, and how harmful how the state is, how harmful the United States government is to black and brown folks across the globe, just not in the United States. When you look at Obama's term and the things that he did in brown countries, predominantly brown countries and stuff, and people, saying, hey, this is nothing to celebrate. We do not celebrate another war criminal getting this power to harm black and brown folks across the globe. Like, there's nothing to celebrate when we're talking about imperialism. And I definitely get like, oh girl, here we go. It's just too woke for me. It's just too woke. Let me tell y'all something. As somebody who was a couple of years ago was just like, girl, I don't care about representation. I definitely get it. Like, I definitely get it. It's just like, can we have a piece of joy? Can we just have a moment to enjoy ourselves? But you have to really think, is this going to be, we have to think out of just being selfish with this. Is this good for just me, or is it good for everybody who looks like me? I think that's the question a lot of folks who've been critiquing people celebrating Vice President Harris and all of these things, and just like, girl, this is nothing to really celebrate. And there are some folks who have been exhausted with the psychological warfare of the last 4 or 5 years with Donald Trump and all of his things and his policies that he's been enacting and all of the things. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think what really got me was the coronavirus. I think what really got me is just like, oh my gosh, like, just to see how mismanaged this was. All of these things, like how mismanaged all of this stuff was, as far as like, fighting this. Like, since they were not like this whole government that is very proud of, like, enemies foreign and domestic. We had a domestic enemy, and it wasn't the coronavirus. It is our failing healthcare system that is for profit, that was left exposed. Everyone should have a right to healthcare. No one be going broke for healthcare. It's like to walk in an emergency room or walk in a hospital or being seen. That is what ultimately hurt us, because these folks were not prepared for that. These hospitals are for profit, so they're not going to be ready for something like this to happen. They are for profit, so why would I be having all of these beds open and I can't make no money off of them? Folks are literally going into debt. People are dying by suicide because of medical bills. And people are dying from not getting care. So that is the virus that was domestic. It wasn't a coronavirus. It was something that was a wound that was already open. And coronavirus just said, oh, okay, girl, y'all ain't gonna do none of this shit. She did what she did. So we have to think about that. So I bring that point up to make people think that when we talk about, oh my gosh, like, things are gonna get better now. Understand that Joe Biden is not in favor of, universal health care and all these things. He's not. So if we keep repairing something that happened 4 years ago and 8 years ago, and when is it ever going to be a chance when black folks are getting the reparations and things that they need to be able to survive in this white supremacist world? When will they get these things? If we started going back 4 years and we're in executive order here, executive order there, like, when do black folks get what they deserve? When do black folks get reparations from redlining? When do black folks get, like, all of these things to make them better? When do we get these things for all black folks to be able to make it? Not just one person out of 1,000 that just so happened to have this good story of coming out of poverty. We shouldn't even have these things. We should not. And I don't want to live in a world where just a few of us are making. I want to live in a world where all of us are making. And I think that's the point. That if we only looking at 2 or 3 of us making out and everybody else is suffering, that's not a system that we want to support. And trust me, I get it. I know some folks are rolling their eyes and annoyed and all these things, but I think that's what's going on. And we have to understand and critique, what is this joy? What is this joy when other people are being harmed in the process? So I definitely get it, because it was like, I ain't gonna lie, it was getting on my nerves. A lot of conversations going on because people were talking about Michelle Obama's hair, which did look good. Michelle Obama's outfit and stuff looked good, but we have to get out of just being, happy about little things. When overall, this means nothing. Michelle Obama having sex, like all these bumpy curls and all these other things, don't really mean anything for black and brown folks. Like, we got to get out of this just happy moment and just dancing away like, oh my gosh, it's so good, when we are literally like just surviving. We're not living, we just surviving. So I think that's the thing that people are talking about when they're having conversations about the U.S. imperialism, the U.S. government, on all of these things. It is complicated, because I think sometimes a lot of what's going on, what some folks are saying is they're advocating for death. But some of their responses that we are already dead. So it's a lot, girl. I ain't gonna get y'all that, girl. I feel like I'm going real in the middle here, but just looking and paying attention to all the conversations and stuff, and I'm just trying to digest it. And it is a lot, girl. It is a lot. But Michelle Obama hair did look good. I ain't gonna lie. Her outfit and stuff looked sickening as hell. Everybody was dripped out. The girl said they were dripped out and droned out, as to talk about presidents dropping bombs, and like, it was just a lot. And I be thinking to myself, like, with us joking and stuff like that and saying these things, what does it really do? Is like, what effect? I think for me, I think it's just kind of, I think I just want to focus on people learning from this. Like, this is what's going on. Like, finding a way to educate black folks and let them know, hey, this is what's going on. I know you all been seeing this cute outfit that Michelle had on, this cute drip that she had on, and how flow this, whatever. But it's just like, sis, these are the policies that are out here hurting black and brown folks. We need to be paying attention to. So don't, girl, come on, pay attention. Stay on task. So yeah, that was going on. I was so moved by Amanda's poem, and I love people who talk with their hands, because I do too. Amanda's poem at the inauguration was beautiful. I'm just very nervous of how white people react to her, because when white folks find somebody like Amanda, they just like, oh my God, they're like, she's a delicate flower, like, oh my gosh. And it's just like, they start to fetishize this person. And Amanda is not no super Negro. She is not no spiritual Negro for no white folks to be able to say, oh my gosh, this is a black woman talking about the pain and stuff of her people, her folks, her ancestors. That's what she's talking about. So don't pay attention to, I think Don Lemon was saying, it kind of struggled a little bit, but focus on the words and stuff that she's saying, and stop trying to find this a moment for you to feel good because you're seeing one black person out here, speaking their mind, because there are other black folks who speak in their minds and telling y'all about suffering and stuff, and y'all be pushing them away, and y'all tell them it's not the time or it's not the place to have these conversations because they're not going by it in a respectful way. So yeah, I was moved by it. I did love it. I love that yellow she has on. I love to see dark skinned folks with bright colors on. It always makes me smile. But yeah, like, I really enjoyed that. I think that was the only thing that I, the inauguration and everything else, like Lady Gaga and that big ass dove bird on her chest, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. From Lady Gaga to Jennifer Lopez, ABC, let's get loud. I was like, girl, please get her off the stage. Y'all just know I'm just not a fan of Jennifer Lopez at all. I'm just not. I'm just not interested in the let's get loud. Like, girl, Jenny on the Block, girl, she'd be out here arresting Latinx folks or whatever if she could. Like, Jennifer, please go sit the hell down. Yeah, so girl, the inauguration, I think Joe Biden gave a good speech. I think he gave a decent speech. I am tired of this unity stuff. I'm not interested in unity. There's definitely some folks I do not want to be in community with. I definitely don't want to be in community with some of these people. I'm not interested in unifying, because we do this every time. We did the same stuff with Obama. We did the same thing. Like, it's always, we got to unify, we got to unite, but when certain sides get into power, and honestly both sides, it's not really, well, especially Republicans, when they get into, they don't be out here unifying. They be out here very straightforward. And the Democrats don't really be about unifying either, because it's just like, look how they responded to folks with these quote unquote radical ideas of $15 minimum wage, which is, everybody should, like, A $15 minimum wage ain't enough, to be frank, honest. Like, it's not a lot for, you know, folks in different parts of the country. Like, $15 an hour is, and minimum wage is $7.25. Like that, and people were pressed boots about this conversation about $15 minimum wage. Like, folks were really upset about that, and I just really didn't understand what that is. Like, if I'm out here working and making $18 an hour, what does that say to somebody who out here flipping burgers out here? Like, girl, do you hear yourself? Do you not understand that these companies are underpaying you? That's what's going on. So, and then flipping burgers ain't just flipping burgers. Trust me. Like, trust me, fast food workers work some of the hardest jobs. Actually, some of the hardest jobs have the lowest pay. Like, come on now. So you can't be out here punching down on folks who are working at Burger King and these fast food restaurants. You need to be upset at the system that allows you to be paid $20 an hour when you should be getting more. Like, you out here cussing out, and this company out here that brought in $2 billion, like Kroger that made so much money, Publix that made so much money, over there, Uber that made so much money. All these companies, Uber had enough money to buy Postmates. So don't tell me about these companies not having no money to pay out. They do, they just don't want to share it. So that's who you need to be punching down on. And the moment we realize that, the moment we understand that, hey, we should be punching down folks who work in these, we be punching down on these companies. The moment we collectively understand that is when we can push for some true change. Because if we don't get it together, they're gonna continue to, it's over. Period. That's why I don't mind conversation, because it's just like, y'all are upset at the wrong folks, and them folks like, here, they out here getting money. They're out here getting money. Like, so that's when we get into the conversation of billionaires should not exist. That's when we get into the conversation of millionaires should not exist, because y'all out here exploiting workers. That is what's going on. You're not going to be able to make that money. You're going to be able to get all of this money and get these millions of it because you are taking and exploiting labor. That's how that works. There was a conversation, honestly, I'm gonna end it here on Twitter, and somebody said, what would you do if you was able to get Jeff Bezos' money? And if some folks were like, I would never be able to. My favorite person said, Anchor Back Home said, I would never get to that. I would never, and I feel like that too. Like, people say, you'll get to, like, I have conversations with like some family members and friends and stuff, like, oh, you're gonna get to the point where you bring it. I say, I don't think I ever will, because every little piece of corn I get out, I'm always giving it back. Like, I'm always giving it back. Like, when folks be sending me money, I literally be giving it back. Like, literally. Like, I don't, you know, I ain't out here rolling and doing. There are some times when I do get an email or Instagram DM from folks who are out here struggling, from a single parent or single mother. Sometimes I don't mind. Like, hey girl, here it goes. You know, it is a lot. It's a lot to consume with that. Like, it's a lot to process these many people struggling. But there are some times where, girl, I know at least December, girl, I spent a lot of money sending some folks some money in December, and I was like, ooh, Justin, like you gotta calm down, girl. You're not gonna be able to take care of. But I ended up getting something that helped me out. So girl, a lot. I know y'all like, girl, we ain't asked about it. I just want to drop some good gems on y'all. I just want to drop down some good stuff. So we're gonna continue this conversation. I told y'all it's gonna be a long King of Reads video, but I'm appreciating y'all. We out here talking. Make sure you go ahead and check out part 2.